considered me as their number 5 enemy. They then sent the IRS down to destroy my organization, which they did, and we still are fighting them ever since 1993. We're still in court fighting them. And the Clinton administration destroyed anybody who they did not want to have a voice. And I have made a comeback. I had a terrible accident in 1999. I'm making a comeback. But at one time, I was on 350 radio stations, 150 TV stations with a TV show, and 4 cable networks. And we're slowly making a comeback, but it's been a long, hard trip.
Well, I sure wish you a lot of luck, Chuck. By the way, one of the articles we have on our website, economyincrisis.org, is how can we restore our industrial self-sufficiency. Right. That we have a lot of good articles on there that I think people would benefit from, just like they're benefiting from listening to your radio station. So,
right.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you could log on to economyincrisis.org, there's many things that could help people understand what's happening to us, and also some solutions to our problems. Anyway, sure, great talking to you, Chuck. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity to let people know, just like you're letting people know, what's truly happening to America and what we should do to help ourselves. The main thing is we have to switch from labor-intensive to capital-intensive and knowledge-intensive manufacturing, like we were in the 50s, when an hour's worth of work in the United States produced the equivalent of 7 hours in Japan. Now it's just reversed. Now we're labor-intensive, and all of the capital and knowledge-intensive manufacturing is going to foreign countries that we can't compete. We can't compete with China.
Well, let's do this.
Rate, and we can't compete with Japan technologically.
You're right. Let's do this. Let's spend an hour together soon, and we'll do more to help the USA. And good luck and Godspeed, sir.
Thanks a lot, Chuck.
Thank you.
Very grateful for talking to you.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't do something for America, who will, and if not now, when? Think about it. If you'd like to help us, your donations in any amount are tax deductible to For the People, P.O. Box 150, Tampa, Florida 33601. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes, up and down the radio trail, and God bless America, those in harm's way, our troops, you and your loved ones, and the victims of the storms. Aloha.
Keith Allen, and our website, forthepeopleshow.com. That was Chuck Harder from 2006 with Thomas Hefner. Economyincrisis.org is the website if you'd like to read more about Thomas Hefner and Economy in Crisis. Right on the money, 100%. That's the brilliance with this broadcast, putting it out there, the information way ahead of the times. But now it makes kind of sense to a lot of folks why Donald Trump speaks like he does. Finally, somebody that actually makes sense. But you think people would welcome him these days with open arms. Unfortunately, not the case, especially at a lot of Republicans, because it kind of breaks up their good old boy fraternity, if you will. And he calls him out on it. And it's not good, especially these deals that have been made by politicians that once ruled Washington. And a lot of them are holdovers from past administrations. Draining the swamp is something literally that does need to take place, but it's going to take a lot of folks standing up like Trump does, unlike so many other politicians that are against him and not finding out how important it is to stand with our country and not sell it out. All right, here's an interview that I thought was rather powerful. It's Rick Ultmen with the FAIR organization, and this is Chuck with him.
Rick Ultmen is with us. Rick Ultmen. He is with FAIR, F-A-I-R, the USA's oldest and largest immigration watchdog. Rick, welcome. What's going on?
Thank you, Chuck. Thanks for having me on. Yeah. Well, I'm in Nashville today. We're here with Chris Simcox, the founder of the Minutemen, to have a very polite vigil at Senate Majority Leader Senator Frist's office here in Nashville to ask him to stand up and defend the American worker. Of course, the message is there is that we oppose a guest worker amnesty.
Well, you know, it's interesting that a number of articles have come out today about the widening gap between the rich and the working class. And there are several states, Maine is one of them, Florida is another, where the gap between the rich and the working class is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And you've got to realize a lot of that is because of the fact we got how many million illegal aliens in this country that'll take any job at any price.
Well, of course, and you don't need a degree in economics, which I do not have, to understand that that's the case. We have the estimates run between the official estimate of 11 million illegal aliens in the United States, could be as high as 30 million. The fact is nobody knows what the number is. Bear Stearns, the Wall Street investment banking firm, last year estimated it closer to 20 to 25 million. And, these are all people who, are taking jobs that Americans will do. It's false to say Americans won't do these jobs. Who did these jobs before we had the mass illegal immigration into the country? And the other thing is we need to remember there aren't any jobs people won't do. There's only wages people won't work for, as proven by Mexican workers who prefer to work for $10 an hour in the United States as opposed to $10 a day in Mexico.
Well, that's true, but the other thing is, look, when I was a kid, I worked at a farm. They paid me, 25, 50 cents an hour. I walked behind a hay baler, and with a steel tong, a hook, picked up hay bales and threw them on the hay wagon. And I worked at that farm every summer when I was out of school. Now, today, I'm sure that kind of work is being done by a Mexican, and the kids, instead of working on the farm, are sitting at home on the couch in the air conditioning watching color TV.
Or playing video games.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I detasseled corn in Illinois when I was a kid. I cut grass. I washed cars. I delivered newspapers. I guess our generation did all those jobs that Americans won't do, but the fact remains the jobs are there. It is clear that this massive influx of illegal immigrants is taking jobs, and it's not fair to the American people. And you know what it also is? It's a slap in the face to legal immigrants who have waited their turn to come to our country. They've honored us and honored our system by going through the legal procedure, and it's a slap in the face to them. And they must wonder, what kind of a country am I coming to that's putting me through all these hoops, yet allowing millions of illegal aliens to sneak in every year?
Now, when I was much younger, and I moved to Florida, in the summertime, not the summertime, but in the late fall, when the citrus harvest came in, you saw regular Americans picking the trees. Regular Americans. You didn't see people of color picking the trees. And I even asked people from my part of Florida who used to do the harvesting of the grapefruit and the oranges before the illegals came. And they said, everyday people. As a matter of fact, in some areas, the schools would close for a week or two so that the high school students could go out and pick the fruit. The same thing with potatoes.
I have the same similar story in California. 30 years ago, I worked for the California Employment Development Department in the wine country. Of course, when the grape harvest came about, they were afraid of the rain. So as soon as the grapes got sweet enough, boy, they had everybody out there, and everybody was out there doing it. It didn't matter. There were some workers that were Mexicans that came through, but it was Americans that were out there, making a little extra cash, bringing in the grape harvest. And this was, 30 years ago, not that long ago.
Well, the same thing is true of the potato harvest. The different high schools in areas where potatoes were grown would close for a week or two during the potato harvest so that the students could go out and dig potatoes.
Well, the point is made, isn't it, that Americans will do these jobs, but they have to be available for Americans to do them. Our point here today in Nashville at Senator Frith's office is to very, politely but very clearly ask him to stand up for the American worker in the middle class. Because if somebody doesn't do it, we're going to end up with more stories about the ever-widening gap between the rich and the working class, and the working class is going to be mainly lower middle class. And we have to do something to look to the future for Americans.
I don't think Frist will do anything for you because I think he's too rich. And I don't think he understands what the American worker goes through. You got to look into his background and realize that this is one rich man. And he does not feel your pain, and he never will, because he's a member of the I've Got Mine Club. He's set for life. Hang on, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
For the People is on the air for you. Each day we strive to tell it to you straight, not watered down, so you can know what's going on each day. Our show is different from many of the others on air. We're not afraid of the PC police, and we explain our position, at the same time understanding the left's position and what we can do to further a conservative agenda for America. For the People is listener-supported and relies on listeners like you to help us get the word out. So, if you like what we do and want to help For the People, sign up today at our website at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Your support allows us to report the news fearlessly and guarantees our survival on the air. As a thank you, we'll send you our monthly newsletter with commentary and money-saving tips. Can we count on your support? Thank you for helping America. To become a For the People member, log on to forthepeopleshow.com. Now, get ready, get set for 123 Ready TV, the brand new app that everyone's talking about for your PC or Android device that allows you access to most every movie or TV show ever made. Sound incredible? Well, it is, because once you pay $19.99, that's all you pay. Just the movies and TV shows you like without the hassle. The internet streams everything already. What 123 Ready does is it finds them, then delivers them directly to you, commercial-free. There's nothing quite like it, and it's available now at forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com. And before you buy 123 Ready TV, watch the video and see how simple it is to start watching all those movies and TV shows. If you like movies and TV shows but don't enjoy paying for all of them, no problem. Just pay $19.99 and start enjoying countless titles and entertaining TV better than anyone. Get your 123 Ready TV for $19.99 at forthepeopleshow.com. Just click on the store page.
Rick Ultmen with us from FAIR, F-A-I-R. We'll give the website out in a few minutes. Rick, in case I haven't told you this or you haven't heard it, this border fence thing gets really stupid when you realize that there's 44,000 miles of interstate highway in the United States. There's a fence on either side of every mile. That's 88,000 miles of fences. In many parts of the United States, there are 20-foot-high concrete barrier fences along the interstate to protect neighborhoods from sound, etc., or from a crash going over a bridge down into a suburb. But the bottom line is the fences are there, and to say we can't fence the border is just laughingstock.
Well, it is, and I mean, it's not like we're talking about it's not like John F. Kennedy saying we're going to put a man on the moon by the end of the decade and having the science community flip out because they knew the technology didn't exist. They actually had to go out and invent the technology. I think we're pretty good on wall technology. I think we probably are at the state of the art of wall technology, and we can build a wall. It's not the technology; it's the political will. But if we keep being helped out by the Presidente of Mexico, who's going to continue to tell us what we can do on our border, he may see that wall sooner than he likes.
Well, why is George Bush? What is wrong with that man? I mean, I realize now that like his daddy, Herbert Walker Bush Sr., who rode to school in the backseat of a limousine during the Depression, George W. Bush probably never broke a sweat unless he was playing tennis or polo. But still, why doesn't he get it? Why doesn't he understand? What's wrong with the man?
I think they all get it, Chuck. I think they all understand. They understand exactly what's happening. They understand exactly the damage that'll be done. But it is about money. It is about the money, the extra billions in profits that cheap labor provides to American businesses, large and small, and those businesses are willing to support politicians in order to not get them to do anything, but to get them to do nothing. It's an interesting situation. It's not like businesses or somebody lobbying saying, build this bridge in my district, right, move the FBI headquarters into my district. But they're not asking the government to do something. They're asking the government to do nothing. They're asking them to ignore the problem so that the influx continues and the availability of cheap labor is still available. I think they all get it. I think it's about money. I think what they think is that they're going to be able to make political issues to continue to win elections with the money they get. from the cheap labor lobby, that they'll be able to find other issues that trump immigration and continue to keep themselves in power. That is my theory as to what they're doing. But I don't think anybody doesn't